Can you sell a house that you've already sold as a slow flip? How you doing, guys? I am Scott Jelinek, the founder of the SlowFlip, and I have made just about all the mistakes out there so that you don't have to. So I got an email this morning about a few properties available as a package that the seller had told me he already sold them on an agreement for deed and he wanted to sell them off as a package. And was I interested? So obviously, you know, I'm always interested. So I took a look at the properties. They looked actually very nice, but the price points on them were fairly high. And so I sent him a message saying, can I see the sales contract? How much did you sell them for? Well, he sent me the sales contracts, the agreement for deeds, but they were significantly lower, actually half or less than half of what he was trying to sell them for in cash. And so we got into a conversation which sparked me doing this video where, and let's make up numbers, I think he was selling them for like 150, but already sold them on an agreement for deed for 60 grand. You can't do that, and I'll tell you why. So you can, I guess, if somebody wanted to buy it, you could sell anything for anything you want, but why would someone buy a property for 150 grand when the person in it can pay you off today for 60 grand, right? They wouldn't. So you cannot sell a property. You can sell your slow flips. If you have a slow flip that you sold to a slow flip buyer for 60 grand and you want to sell it, you'll probably get $35,000, $40,000 for it. 30,000, maybe 40,000. And those are viable numbers because now the slow flip buyer, the investor has a buyer already in it for 60. He's buying it for 30 or 40 grand and he's making the cash flow on it. But to buy it for 150, it's almost a guaranteed loss. The only way you would possibly ever even be whole is if you just collected the payments and it went on for a full 30 years. But you could not, in your right mind, pay more than the person that's in the property is paying for the property. It would make no sense. But it was I enjoyed speaking with this person because it was a great learning lesson and a great conversation. And then another part that he asked about, which I really thought I wanted to share this with you guys as well. Can you refinance and pull money out and then use that money then to buy more properties? So the short answer is obviously yes, you can. You can refi, you can pull money out. However, you cannot, or at least should not, pull out more money than you've sold the property for. Meaning, if the house is worth 200 grand now and a bank would be willing to give you 150, right? But you already sold it to somebody for 70 on an agreement for deed, you should never encumber the property for more than that 70. I hope that makes sense, because if you do, you have a problem. If that guy next month says, hey, I got a contract, I'm selling it, you have to come up with that money now for the difference because you got to pay off your underlying mortgage. So I hope this is making perfect sense to you. I'm driving right now on my way down to Hatteras, and it was just on my head. So I wanted to get this out to you. But most importantly, what I wanted to cover is going to be, can you sell a property that you already have sold as a slow flip? 100% absolutely yes, you can. However, you have to sell it for less than you've already sold it for. You cannot, it would make no financial sense for a person to buy it for more than the price that you've already sold it for. But if you had a package, say you had 10 houses and you had them all sold at 60 grand each, but you wanted to cash out, you'll probably get 35, 40 grand for them, right? But there's no way, regardless of the value of the property, you're gonna get more than you've already sold it to somebody else. Because it's not based on the value, it's based just on the paper, and the paper says you already have it sold at 60, so clearly they can't pay more than that. They can't even pay 60 if they're looking to profit. That's all I got for you guys. I hope this video helps, and I hope that if you are on this journey, you let me know about it if you have a package you want to sell, because I'm always interested and I'm always looking to buy. And if you want to refi, keep your numbers below. You don't want to be the other end of an unscrupulous situation, right? Where you refied, pulled money out, and now if your buyer wants to pay you off, you can't transfer the deed because you owe on it more than he owed you, right? So you want to make sure you follow the rules and you do it properly. Thank you guys for watching. If you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a fantastic day.